Imagine a CEO who just 27 days after taking the top job gets unceremoniously fired by his own board of directors. Even more shocking, the stated reason was that he committed over 1,000 violations, an average of more than 40 mistakes every single day. This short-lived CEO was Liu He, an emperor in ancient China. And the powerful chairman who dared to sack the emperor? That was Huo Guang, the most influential figure in the imperial court. This isn't just a political footnote. It's an incredible masterclass in corporate governance and crisis management. We must first understand Huo Guang's position. He was essentially the powerful chairman of the board, entrusted with the welfare of the vast Han Dynasty corporation. Following the death of the previous emperor, Huo Guang had the critical duty of finding a new chief executive. He settled on Liu He, recruiting him from a regional branch office, the Kingdom of Chang'e. However, the moment Liu He arrived, he committed the single most fatal error any parachute executive can make, a catastrophic case of cultural shock and organizational rejection. Liu He stormed into the central headquarters with over 200 of his own inner circle in tow, showing an immediate and profound disrespect for the existing imperial culture and the senior management. Worse, he instantly began trying to install his old cronies into critical core positions. In his eyes, established veterans like Huo Guang were irrelevant. He was focused only on building his personal faction, turning the emperor's palace into an absolute mess. In modern organizational terms, this was an attempt to carve out an independent kingdom within the company, a move that is utterly destructive to the existing corporate ecosystem. Huo Guang, the chairman, realized he faced a monumental decision involving his fiduciary duty. His ultimate loyalty was not to the new boss, Liu He, but to the long-term survival and stability of the entire Han Dynasty. When the executive leader's actions directly threaten the core interests of the enterprise, swift loss prevention becomes the highest duty owed to all stakeholders and employees. The final push came from the Grand Minister of Agriculture, Tianyannian, who told Huo Guang, "General, you are the pillar of the state. If this man is unfit, why don't you follow the example of our predecessors and replace him?" That simple statement solidified Huo Guang's resolve. Huo Guang's subsequent action is a textbook example of effective high-level course correction. First, he secured consensus among the core directors, namely General Zhang Angshi, preventing any division of power. Then, leveraging the legitimacy of the Empress Dowager, he convened an emergency board meeting. Using this legal authority, he meticulously presented the list of Liu He's 1,000-plus offenses, culminating in his formal removal from the throne. But Huo Guang did not stop there. He immediately executed or exiled the entire 200-plus entourage Liu He had brought with him. He understood that without completely eradicating the emperor's personal power base, the organizational infection would remain, capable of resurfacing at any moment. Huo Guang's brutal efficiency offers 3 crucial lessons for modern leadership. First, be acutely wary of sunk costs. Choosing the wrong person is an inevitable error for any leader. But the deadliest mistake is getting caught in the sunk cost fallacy, clinging to a bad decision out of fear of embarrassment or the desire to avoid turmoil. Huo Guang pressed the termination button just 27 days into the crisis. That is the definition of decisive crisis management. Second, manage cultural conflict ruthlessly. Any external executive whose imported culture violently clashes with the organization's core values, particularly if they exhibit arrogance, will trigger organizational rejection. The chief steward must intervene immediately to protect the stability and morale of the core team. Finally, the highest responsibility of any top professional leader is always loyalty to the long-term benefit of the organization, not to the person currently occupying the top seat. So, as the main decision-maker in your own company or team, do you possess the resolve of Huo Guang to pull the plug when necessary, safeguarding the future?